With the Declan Rice sale becoming now more imminent, let's be honest, I can't wait for it to be over, really. I really can't. As painful it is to see Declan leave, it's been one of those things that's just dragged on and on for quite some time. Although I'd say that they're not so much throughout the transfer window, but we're getting to that point now, aren't we, where the bids are now coming in, they're becoming firm. Manchester City have clearly shown a very much of a keen interest now by putting a bid in. So it's kind of where we want it to be, but you do get the feeling it's coming towards its conclusion, thank God. Which obviously leads us to West Ham. What are we going to be doing? Who are we bringing in? And the big question is, who is going to be replacing Declan Rice? You're never really going to be able to just replace Rice, are you? You're never going to be able to say, right, let's go and find another player just like him. That's not going to happen. He's a world-class player, and we know that. And I'd get the feeling that if he was to go on to, say, Manchester City, wherever, then he's going to go up upper levels, as a player. But what's very exciting, though, is West Ham's list now of players that are starting to come forward. XWH Employee has recently just put up a new list of fresh names. We're going to be doing videos on those. But one I want to focus on is Denis Zakaria. So this is quite an interesting one. And what's really the timing of this is as I record this, I thought I'll just have a quick look, just see if anything's happening regarding this deal, if it's moved forward. Obviously, I saw X's update. It's now breaking effectively that the talks are actually advanced, that West Ham and Juventus are in advanced talks now for this player. We're going to get back to the video really shortly, but I just want to let you know this video is actually sponsored by NordVPN. Now, NordVPN are a private network that allow you as a fan to watch games from the comfort of your own home. You can change the region that you're in. It also allows you to watch films, TV shows, things like that. Now, the other big thing is it's also on travel costs. So being West Ham, where you're in Europe again, and also you might want to go on holiday, but you can also save some money on your flights, on your hotels, things like that. It's really worth it. And look, for the monthly subscription, okay, it's less than a pint or a coffee a month. Now, if you go to the link below and using nordvpn.com/West Ham Way, you get 4 months free, completely free. And also after that, you get a 30-day money back guarantee. So just click on the link, go on it, give it a try, see what you think. Anyway, back to the video. There's more to this as well, that Zakaria. I actually believe this could be someone we're going to bring in. And there's a few reasons for it, and I'm going to go through it. So first of all, about the player. He's 26. He's going to turn 27 this year, November. Plays for Juventus. He was on loan at Chelsea last season. And he plays for Switzerland, Swiss international, and he's got something like, I've got it here, 49 appearances. So he's a key player for them. Let's be honest, that looks good. On record, you think he plays for Juventus, international player. Chelsea were interested. This is very good. However, if you look at his time at Juventus, it isn't great. He hasn't played overly too much, and he went to Chelsea. I think he made 7 appearances. I actually remember him playing for Chelsea. I watched him a couple of times. I actually was quite impressed with him. I thought he was pretty good. But again, we didn't see enough of him, And I could be honest, when I first looked at this, and I'm still going to go back to this point as well, and I still actually share this feeling at the moment. I still feel the same, is that you look at it on paper, you look at his CV, it doesn't look that great. You know what I mean? You think, well, what's happened to him? Why wasn't he a success at Chelsea? What actually happened there? But prior to his move to Juventus and prior to the whole Chelsea loan, he played in Germany for 5 years, did very well. And this is the key bit. And this is why I think why we're in advanced talks. I think there's a big reason behind it. And I think it's to do with the new director of football coming in, Tim Steidten. So it's emerged by XWHU employee on Patreon that Tim Steidten actually tried to sign this player and really did work hard at the deal and wanted him in while he was at Bayer Leverkusen and was not successful, couldn't get him in. He's a big admirer. So that bodes the question, is this a Steidten appointment? I'm going to lean towards yes. I think the facts are there. I mean, look, I might be getting 2 and 2 and getting 5 out of that, but that's what I'm reading. That's how I'm seeing it. I'm thinking, well, he was very keen on him, which makes me believe that Steidten, I believe, is going to be appointed. I'm pretty confident in that. And I think this Zakaria could happen, I really do. I think it's moving forward. So, yeah, that's what my understanding of it is. It looks to me that Zakaria is going to be the Rice replacement. He's going to be the player that's going to be alongside Paqueta. Look, there's some noise online at the moment and doing its rounds that Paqueta is an interest to PSG. We're going to do a video of that when that becomes a bit more clearer. I'm really not interested in talking about that because I don't actually believe that. I don't think West Ham would ever entertain a deal for Paqueta. He's a key player for us this season, especially now we're losing Rice. I mean, the club aren't going to be starting flogging our best players. So I'm not going to be worried about that. So my view is it's going to be Paqueta and another. And I'm starting to believe it could be Zakaria. There is other names in the frame. There are other names in the frame. Onana, I believe, of Everton. We've just done an article on that on our website. So if you go on www.thewesthamway.com and check that out, it's an article about that. And I actually think there could be some interest. We're talking about the Everton player that we were very keen to bring in, and he actually chose them over us. It looks like they need to cash in on that. So that's an interesting one. We'll do a bit more on that later down the line. Zakaria is a key player, a key target for West Ham, and it appears that talks are really moving along quite quickly. And as I say, I think it's to do with Steidten. As I say, my thoughts on it are, right, that as I've said, I'm not overly impressed with the CV. It does worry me a little bit. However, when you think of, okay, he hasn't gone overly wonderful at Juventus, didn't go overly great at Chelsea. Yeah, okay, but it's quite stark that the fact that these clubs are interested in him. These are, huge football clubs in the world. Some of the biggest that are interested in this player and keen to, and, he plays for Juventus. So it does lead you to believe that he's a good player, that we're picking up someone good. As I say, plays for Switzerland, he's a key player for them. So I'll try not to dwell on that too much. I just feel like there's a little bit of uncertainty there. For me, next season, now we're losing Declan Rice, it opens up this opportunity for other players to become the focal point of the team. You've got your Jared Bowens that we talked about before. Lucas Paqueta has got to be that player, isn't it? The player that West Ham build the team around, because he's so instrumental to what we want to do. So I think it's really, it goes without saying, doesn't it? We've got to get this appointment right. We've got to make sure if Zakaria is the player, I've said there's our others as well, but if Zakaria is the player that West Ham are looking at to say he is going to be the one that's going to be replacing Declan Rice, it's got to be the right appointment. The homework has got to be correct. We've got to now look to our new director of football. If it is Steidten, which I believe it is, that's my gut feeling in this, then this is a big chance for him to show this is what I can bring you. These are the players I've been looking at. This is, he's got to get it right. So we've got to trust him. And I believe this is my gut feeling. I think that's going to happen. This is where I think it's going, but who knows? We are interested in others as well. There's also Victor Alvarez. There's also Polina from Fulham that we're interested in. Alvarez, I believe, is going to Dortmund now. We did do a video about that previously. We were actually at one point considered going to be the front runners because of the money we could offer, but I believe we don't want to pay the fee. I think it's 45 million. It looks like that's going to be too much for us, so we don't rate him that highly at that value. So it looks like he's more likely to go to Dortmund. Alvarez, Polina, I think, still a big target. As far as what I'm hearing, the player's quite keen. So, but again, it's all a bit rumours at the moment. We don't know enough about it, but yeah, Zakaria, I would not be surprised. However, as I said, as I'm feeling at the moment, I probably need a little bit more convincing.